rolling. So first question is, who are you?
It's very hard to say. I don't know, really.
What's your name?
My name is Alexeï Blinov.
And what do you do in life?
Well, I'm basically a geek. I do all sorts of things to do with electronics, computers, and interactive arts, so to say. Yeah.
So how do you define your skill?
Oh, it's really hard to define. On one hand, I don't have any. On the other hand, yeah, I suppose I know quite a bit. I know lots about everything. Well, not everything about nothing. Nothing about everything. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any formal education or formal qualifications as such. Yeah, so whatever I know is basically, well, an amateur knowledge. But I don't know. That's about it. Well, I do electronics, computers, yeah, networks, lights, lighting installations. Basically, I'm an artist, really.
And what do you do in London? What is your story with London?
My story is London. Well, by now it's a bit of a lengthy one. I live in London for the last 16, 17 years. And I pretty much like it. I feel pretty much at home, although the town is quite nasty and old and smelly and dirty. However, it has this unsurpassable vibe, which I didn't find in any other place of the places I've been. I haven't been in too many places, but there is a few places I've been to. And none of them, unfortunately, has this similar kind of vibe. So London is pretty unique.
And why did you move to London?
Why did I move? Well, I moved because I had an English wife at some point in my life. That was quite some time ago. She now lives in the US, and I remain here. I've actually seen her recently. She's very much into plants now, and I'm very much still into electronics, computers, and lasers, as it was.
So it's love then when you come?
Pretty much, yeah. Although, well, I must say, we've been living in Amsterdam at the time, so I got pretty much fed up with claustrophobia of a tiny little provincial town. So I decided to move somewhere a little bit bigger. As you see, I'm from Moscow, so Moscow is a pretty large town. It's comparable to London by the size and by the, energy. So the level of entropy is pretty much equal. So I felt a little bit, squeezed in a small town such as Amsterdam, so we decided to move somewhere bigger. So Moscow was not a choice at the time, so London it is. Well, it remains so.
So and what is London for? I mean, to you, what London is offering to you in terms of inspiration, or just, I don't know, what is it giving to you, and maybe in which way it fits to you?
Well, I suppose there's a concoction of novelty, of a challenge, and aggression, which brings forth the creative impulse, which propels me elsewhere. Well, I still quite seriously believe that once you've kind of managed to make it in London, you can make it pretty much anywhere. So, yeah. If you manage to do something good in London, that'd be good enough for everywhere else.
Great. And how do you define the London people, the inhabitants of London? How can you define them?
You see, it's a kind of contradiction in terms. I don't think London has any more real Londoners left. So I guess the majority of the population here is transient people, people in transition of one way or another. So, yeah, there's permanent transience, which on the one hand kind of keeps on advancing, and on the other hand keeps your emotions pretty tight because you don't cry about the past and you kind of happily look into the future, wishfully looking into the future. Yeah, that's really the general idea about London and London's people. But the main point about London people is that once you got in here, you have to start accommodate rules of engagement, so to say, with a place such as London. It's not as nice as Berlin, it's not as relaxed as Berlin, and not as tolerant as, say, Amsterdam, but I wouldn't swap it.
So London is everything for you. I mean, it's your hometown.
Yeah, for now, yes. Yes.
If we have to say that London is kind of human, is it female or male, or something else? What is it?
Well, I wouldn't give London a gender. Okay, it behaves in either way. It's perhaps some kind of strange transmutation, transgender kind of thing. But it's certainly not the youngster, that's for sure. And gender, no, I wouldn't put it to gender. It behaves in both ways. Although it doesn't have a distinct personality of one kind or another. That's the funny thing about it.
It's mixed, or what?
It's mixed. Yeah. On one hand, it's kind of likes you, on the other hand, it hates you. Yeah. So if you could behave likewise.
And if London was an organ, which part of the body would it be?
As an organ, it would be an eye. Because London does have this kind of, I think, mysterious property of being capable of seeing. It can see things. It can see things to come. So things which can happen in London are not necessarily yet things which already happened everywhere else, and they're coming to everywhere else a little bit later, or maybe not coming at all, and perhaps not in the same way London sees them, but London does see a lot of things.
Because what? Because it's a real multicultural city, or?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a Babylon.
How do you define London?
Well, it's a Babylon, really, is a kind of a mixture, a melting pot, a kind of breeding tank, for all sorts and kinds, good and bad alike. But this kind of energy or situation where something new is always on happening is pretty much present. Yeah, that's what it is for sure. New things coming out of it.
Okay. Can you give me two places which are inspiring you, or where you like to go, and why? Like first, second.
It has to be specific places.
Yeah.
Well,
point of view or neighborhood or.
Well, I like London's museums to start with. I'm quite frequently going to a variety of London museums, specifically Science Museum and such. British Museum is fantastically inspirational places. For instance, British Museum has one of the best collection of antiquities around the world, except for Luxor probably, or somewhere else. I don't know if anybody else could rival. Yeah, one thing, and another thing, I kind of like quite a lot to go for a walk. I go for walks, very long walks around London. Well, one of my favorite tracks is along the South Bank, say starting from the Charing Cross Bridge, Westminster Bridge, and going all the way down to Greenwich.
And why is a specific walkway?
Well, first of all, there is kind of reasonably well kept footpath, so you could walk on it. It's kind of goes alongside the river, And it passes all through very historical places, very ancient places upon which the whole culture of this place is built. Like it passes through all the old wharfs and prisons and docks and packhouses, which obviously converted these days into kind of yappy palaces, cafes and such. But still, it does have a notion, it does have a flavor, that's for sure.
How do you feel there?
Well, pretty explorational and inspirational at the same time. Perhaps because this place, or that particular site of London, had to do something with the great geographical discoveries and kind of was era of navigation and discoveries as it used to be back in whatever century that was. And yeah, it still perhaps retains the spirit of a kind of maritime adventure, which, yeah, something like that.
What does it give to you? It's inspirational.
Yeah, lets you think about things you still may yet discover and claim. Still, you may still conquer, rather than just quietly enjoy. So that's probably sort of the spirit you can get out of that, looking at these old docks and the old ships.
Okay, I have one last trick. Yes, we cut this.
Hein? C'est fini?
On peut couper, bah oui, faut faire les mots-clés.
T'as plus rien.
Attends, ça fait 12 minutes.
T'es sûr?
Ouais.
T'as rien.
C'est bien. Il est bon, Alexeï.
Ouais, d'accord.
Les plans, j'aurais pu faire plus.
C'est con, putain, je commence à trouver des trucs. Ok, on y va. Attends.
Holy shit. Ah. London?
Okay.
You watch the camera, you say London.
Okay, London, Navy, England, Robin Hood, Boudica, druids, time, astronomy, physics, Kelvin, Newton, battles, Trafalgar, Nelson, Guy Fawkes, Parliament, the Revolution, Sherlock Holmes, Dickens, cellars, sewers, tube, tunnels, Romans, plague, Inquisition, theatre, astrology, John Dee, Shakespeare, Tower of London, William the Conqueror, Harold, Elizabeth, Cromwell, Churchill, Lloyd George, Blitz, radio, television, dogs, ships, Isle of Dogs, Canary Wharf, trains, railroad, rocket, canals, industry, smog, double-deckers, Hyde Park, Rolling Stones, Cathy Sark, tea clippers, observatory, pretty much.